computer. Oh boy, your boy JR back. Cigar Talk Weekly. Cigars and wisdom. Um, Cigar Talk Weekly. Cigars and wisdom back in the house. Uh, Kicking back tonight. Watching the Lakers and Celtics. Um, Smoking on nice little house blend from here in the Palm Beach area. Place is called I can't remember the place. Uh, Don Lopez, medium and full body. Um, just joined the game and saw the blogs today, and they were talking about Snoop Dogg and the Breakfast Club had an interview that dealt with Snoop being asked who he thought his greatest, who his top five was. And of course, they're trying to start some controversy, so they asked him what he thought about Eminem. And Snoop kept it real. He basically said Eminem was cool, but there's a lot of dudes from back in the 1980s that would clean his clock. He mentioned KRS-One, Ice Cube, Kane, Rakim, Slick Rick, and it sent the internet in an uproar. People have his followers basically saying, how can he do that? Eminem is better than Snoop Dogg. Eminem's a GOAT on everybody's list. And people just hating on him because he's white or whatever the hell. But, Snoop stood his ground, He said it like it was. Basically Eminem is okay, But this goes into the discussion of the Great White Hope, what I call the Great White Hype. Something that's been going on in America through entertainment, sports, also with in the political arena. This is something that America has constantly promoted. Basically saying this particular white person, male or female, is the greatest thing since sliced bread, and they're going to change the world and change the country, change entertainment, change athletics. And sometimes said a white person is pretty decent, but a lot of times the one he can be hype, and he can be almost deified by white masses. But a black person that does the same exact thing is highly scrutinized, not given the same respect. He was sometimes punished for doing the exact same thing. To delve in first to Eminem, I've always thought Eminem was a decent rapper. He definitely can rap, but I always seen him as more of a battle rapper that made it big. He did his thing with the Rap Olympics, if you know his story, from Detroit. Underprivileged white kid. into rap as a way to just release anger and stress that he had with his family, and basically he went to the rap Olympics. I think he made second place, and then he's basically discovered by Dr. Dre, Paul, I forgot his name, Rosenberg, I believe. He's bought to Dr. Dre, and his career goes from there. He drops the Marshall Mathers LP, excuse me, the Slim Shady LP first. Then that sells like hotcakes. This is back when I was in high school. He drops the Marshall Mathers LP. I believe after that Encore, the Eminem show. But just like some of his predecessors, like the Beatles, Elvis, he becomes kind of the god in a black led industry. Even though most blacks, including myself, respect him, we don't really play his music like that. I personally, I liked him on Cry in 2001. I heard the Marshall Mathers LP was good. That was kind of like right after, like my first year out of high school came out, I believe. I graduated 2000. But while in high school when the Slim Shady LP dropped, the white kids, and I would say black kids leaning towards the white side were getting to him, and Kid Rock, people like that. But those of us who was into the harder stuff, I rephrase that, the more black inclined music, we weren't really messing with him like that. Respected him, but we never wanted to play that. But yeah, that's that. So back to the modern times. In the day, people are crucifying Snoop. How could you do that? How could you say that? Eminem is the rap god. Eminem is the greatest. Eminem is, he will kill you. But, like the thing he was saying is, the dude can rap his ass off, but his music is just not relatable to us, It doesn't really, it's not that it's bad, it's just the stuff he talks about is not, relatable to a black audience. Having beef with your mother, putting your mom butt, killing your family, things of the such. It just never resonated with me. I definitely could rap his ass off, but never really bought any of his albums, to be honest. But there's also black rappers like that. They can rap their ass off. But there's no time of day where I really want to play their music, one of the mainstream ones, Bone Thugs and Harmony. I like some of their songs, but it's just their style. They always have that mystic kind of gangster grave, horrorcore kind of style. I respect them for what they've done, but never ever, not really one of my favorite groups, to be honest. But I respect what they did to the game. Tech Nine, Hobson. So basically, like Big Crit say, If the hood don't mess with it, the shit don't jam. It's not a classic, you know. And I live by that code when it comes to music. It's gotta jam. Gotta be able to play it in the house and in the car. It can't just be 4,000 bars, you know. That just that you know, it's okay though, you know. But you know, I'm riding with Snoopy. Kept it real. Kept it all the way trill in my thing. There's a lot of black rappers who've done kind of crazy, kind of wild lyrics, and they never got that kind of critical acclaim. One, for instance, is Scarface. Never got that critical acclaim, national acclaim. Still kind of stayed between the underground and just most basically in black households. But we never jammed it. I mean, he was never jammed on the radio unless he had a really big hit. But definitely had the same context, suicidal tendencies, family issues, just like Eminem had, and never got that same mass appeal in that play, you know. Other ones I can think of, UGK, um, A Ball MJG, you know, they've done things along the line of the player, the pimp style, no nonsense, um, record type raps that have, you know, people that whites have been amazed by, like when you know somebody like Kid Rock does it. Even though he's used to be backpack rapper, but he tells it like it is according to him, according to MAGA, and they go crazy. Also, there's a lot of people like that. But even moving into the sports arena, the fascination with Tom Brady. I think Tom Brady's a good quarterback, but I think he was fortunate enough to play in a great system under Belichick. But, they're already calling him the GOAT now, you know. Yeah, he played in 9 Super Bowls. What is it? We'll see how good he is this year when he goes to Tampa without the Belichick system. Um, but I never thought he was the greatest quarterback. I barely remember him in college, you know. And yeah, some people are college players, some people are pro players, but he's not my GOAT, as far as football is concerned. It would be Lawrence Taylor or either Jerry Rice or either Jim Brown, Walter Payton, people along those lines. And that's where I stand with that. Yeah, every year they draft somebody out of the NFL, mainly the NFL, some white quarterback from some school. It's SEC, Big Ten. He's supposed to be the hottest thing. Slight spread. You see that with Mitchell Trubisky. Yeah, one good game in college. Um, they're already pumping up the guy at Clemson. I can't call his name right now. Also, in the past, Johnny Manziel was pumped up like crazy. He gets to the league and he's an alcoholic. Um, there's so many I can name. Ryan Leaf. Um, Major hype. Major, highly promoted, highly thrown in your face by the media like they're gonna change the world. And all of a sudden, somebody like my boy from down here in Florida, Lamar Jackson, who was a proven winner since he was in high school, they want to try to hate on him and not give him his shine, even though he solid quarterback, ACC quarterback, solid. Um, he has to go the extra mile to get that critical acclaim, get that love, and it's just not fair. It's just pure BS, pure racism. Um, but this is going back all the way to the time of Jack Johnson. Jack Johnson got the title. Was definitely the best boxer of the early part of the last 20th century. If you haven't watched his they have several documentaries on YouTube, HBO. Without a doubt, the best boxer of the first part of the 20th century, early 20th century. But the white people spent time and their hardest effort to try to first keep him from getting the heavyweight championship of the world, not even letting him compete. And once he got it, he was basically held it for like 7, 8 years. And that whole time they were just trying to find some white man, super as big as possible that could probably take him down. Even to the point they started to bring the Mann Act against him, which was a kind of a interstate prostitution charge. They put against him that he had to go on the lam, go around the world hiding, come back to the country basically, and eventually ends up they found some giant white guy, average, and he basically took a dive. Many people believe to let himself get back to the country, and of course when he got back he had to serve some time, but the main issue was he didn't want to see a black man shining and a black man on top. And he didn't really get his credit to many years after he had passed on. No, but that's a deeper issue. As I'm sitting here watching the NBA tonight, they're putting a lot of positive black images. The Black Lives Matter. And I know it's going to upset some people. They don't want to see that. More on the conservative side of things. But they got everybody. I'm watching the Lakers and the Clippers. Everybody on both teams is damn near black. It's 98% black people out here. But they don't want to see black power even on the basketball court. Even though the black athlete is doing so much for the game. But that's just America and how America's always been. So racism never ends, and it's going to keep going. But as Tariq Nasheed says, we got no allies, and we got to protect our what makes us great, our systems, our talents, our music, and keep it for ourselves within the family. Because a dude into the rap game, be decent and he's good. Only released 2 classics, and they call him the greatest rapper of all time. But that happened with Elvis, happened with the Beatles. Even though we influenced all of them also, and taught them the craft, And yeah, that extends to all forms of music. Many subpar talented non-blacks have come to us seeking our help, jumping on our bandwagon, from the Pinks to the J Lo's, Miley Cyrus, Vanilla Ice's, um, George Michael, even, and they get the critical acclaim, God status. Um, and the ones that influenced them, they don't always get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fames and those type of avenues, you know. But yeah, I just thought it was funny today. I had to talk about that. Um, they said Eminem is good. I like his rapping ability, but to me, he's always just been a decent, a battle rapper that pretty much just made it. Um, but there's a lot of black battle rappers out there. You can watch URL, things like that, and they've never got signed, never gonna get signed, and never gonna get that critical acclaim. You know, unfortunately, that's just how it is. You know, that's the game. You know, sucks, but that's the America. How America's been. How America's gonna be. How America's gonna continue to be. Um, yeah, Snoop is entitled to his opinion, man. I'm on the same way. He's not in my top 10. Um, maybe my top 30 to 40. You know, but I don't play his music. Never have anybody I ever rode around the car with ever said put an Eminem and put his music on. You know, nobody's ever said that to me in the last 25 years. So, you know, I totally ride with Snoop, man. Snoop knows better than anything, you know. His whole success was because of Dr. Dre, you know. If not, he would have been on fucking goddamn raucous, some backpack stuff, you know. But Dre spruced him up, gave him the production, gave him to know how to start his own company, and he brought on 50 Cent and G Unit and D12. Um, but yeah, he was just another teammate in that post Death Row era that Dr. Dre started, you know. But if he was on Death Row, he would have been on Murder Was the Case, probably. You know, that would have been it. He would have been fourth string, you know. Keep it real, man, because it's like Snoop said, the white rappers were trash um, prior to him, you know. Just another teammate with Snoop, Exhibit, um, who else? Um, East Siders, who had two phenomenal albums. They never got the acclaim. Um, oh, you're right. I worked on that Chronic 2001 was phenomenal. Devin the Dude, who's never got national acclaim. Um, but yeah, it's that's just it's America, man. It's America. You know, that's how it's gonna be. How it always was. You know. So anyway, as far as this cigar I'm smoking, wonderful smoke. Got to come to a shop called D Lopez here in West Palm Beach, Florida. Um, got their own selection as well as other selections in the store, and the cigar is excellent. Watching these Lakers and these Clippers as I'm talking, Um, I don't know. My boy LeBron got a couple more years in, I think, and it's he can hang it up, man. I think he'll get one this year, even with the shortened season, whatever this season is. But it looks crazy with playing in this. It looks like they're playing in a high school gym, you know. The Clippers are tough, man. Clippers are a tough goddamn team, man. They sticking it to the Lakers, man. You know, game coming to an end now, but definitely these are two best teams in the league. Um, Clippers gonna get that title once LeBron leaves. I think they could get it this year, but yeah, LeBron is as yet is in. Clippers got a squad, man, tough squad. Anyway, I rambled on enough. That's just my feelings and my thoughts. But yeah, sum it up. I like Eminem. Um, he's just not in my top 10. He's a good rapper. And this great white hype stuff, great white hope, really great white hype stuff has to stop. Because you see what it's done to the country in the form of the current administration. They were trying their hardest to get the last guy out of there. They get this guy in there, and they're going through the strangest year I've ever seen. Um, Never I thought I'd be walking around with a mask all day, and hiding in my house in the summertime. But yeah, this is the state of America that we're living in right now. Another great white hype has come into play. With that, follow me on Instagram, Cigar Society of South Florida, and email me at Havana, Florida, 1947 at gmail.com. Also, check me out on Teespring. Check out some of my merchandise. And Facebook, Twitter, every platform. Check me out. This has been another edition of Cigars and Wisdom, aka Cigar Talk Weekly. And get you something good to smoke in these tough times. And enjoy the evening. At least we got basketball back. We'll see what happens with football. They're gonna have to play in the bubble dome also. With that said, I'm signing off. Peace.